Welcome back to another episode of The Funny Please, where you have the right to remain laughing. I'm your host, Ashley Ryan, and today we are joined by the fabulous Matthew Conrado. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Cool.
Nailed it.
Welcome. And we are also joined by Madame Vivien V, who is our drag queen politician for the day.
That's true. America, fuck yeah. This is Madame Vivien V. Madame A sounds fancy though. I like
sounds
that.
important.
Yeah.
It's multicultural.
Yeah, it's very. It's American and French.
I loves it.
So many different flavors of white.
Before we get into our topic, I just want to bring up a little bit of celebrity gossip and maybe decompress a little bit. So the celebrity is me. I went
Wow,
Yes.
greatness.
and the gossip is I went on a date last night. I went to see the Joan Rivers tribute at the Apollo. I worked for Joan Rivers. It was an internship when I was in college.
Word.
I didn't know her extensively as a comedian. I just knew her from the Fashion Police back then. But she's been a really big role model for me anyway. So I went on a date and it was going really well. It was 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he tells me that he has a girlfriend.
No.
Yeah.
What kind? Like a monogamous relationship?
He's had a girlfriend for 3 weeks.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Oh.
okay, seriously, we knew it was a date going into it. Well, at least I thought it was. I went on Grindr. I had changed, I was supposed to bring a friend and they couldn't come last minute. So I went on Grindr. I said, looking for date, my headline. And I had all these guys message me and I was interviewing them and I was talking to friends. I was like, oh, which one should I bring? And so it was a whole process. And I'm like, okay, well, if you would have told me that to begin with, I would have brought another guy. I don't know. Is this normal in New York, or I don't know. I'm still kind of a new New Yorker.
I mean, people just doing whatever the hell they want with no regard for someone's actual needs or wants. Yeah, that's so New York.
Sounds about right. Actually, I think I saw something on Instagram the other day that we are the worst city to date anybody in.
Yeah.
It's officially New York City is the worst place to get a
I
date.
saw that too.
Yeah. So
I just love that you changed your headline on Grindr and you had a full stable to choose from to go to the Apollo.
Oh yeah, 4 o'clock on a Thursday. Everyone wants to talk to you. They're getting off work and they're getting things on.
Wait,
yeah.
my favorite too was the council after you had the array of people that wanted to go on the date with you. You also had the council of who you should take.
Yeah, and I didn't listen to my friends. I I took this person that was responding the most and. I was like, okay, he's most reliably gonna show up. He asked for my number, everything. And the reason he told me on the date that he had a girlfriend because it was going really well and we got really deep. He was an actor. I'm a comedian. We talked about how hard it was and sometimes you get depressed because you're trying hard and nothing happens or whatever. And he was a Ukrainian immigrant. He dodged the draft. And so he talked about hiring coyotes to smuggle him out. He had to walk through fields for 6 hours with a headlamp in the middle of the night. It was this whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, that must be so hard to be an actor in New York, just coming from that.
Jesus.
So I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
so no second
I don't
date.
know. I don't know. That's what I want to ask y'all. Do you guys think that I should see him again? Or do you think I should schedule to see him and then just have Vladimir here sitting on my couch be like, so you dodged the draft.
It's
right? Just turn him in. Be like, can you meet me at the airport for our date? At JFK. Oh, we're getting on this plane. Oh, it's back to Ukraine. You're gonna be in the army now.
She's not bitter. she didn't take it personally at all.
Okay, those tickets were $150 a piece. I did not take a married or a man that's in a 3-week relationship.
Yeah, but
for $150, should I send him a bill? Should I send him a bill?
Oh, you should send him.
Send a Venmo request.
Yeah.
Venmo request.
Send the Venmo.
I don't even know his Venmo. You're lucky I know his name.
His name's Vladimir.
Yeah.
Wait, is his name Vladimir?
No. The date's name was Art because
Art.
Vladimir is the Ukrainian friend that would confront Art.
No. Vladimir. Wait, the ruler, the actor guy. What's the guy that's in charge of Ukraine right now?
Oh,
Zelensky.
Oh, good.
Zelensky.
It's the president.
I'm getting.
Vladimir
I'm
Putin
getting.
is coming after Zelensky.
I'm getting the dictators or leaders.
We're throwing the dictator
for
on it.
Texas
Do not fuck with
education.
Ashley.
That's the
Do
Texas
not-
education.
Yes,
Okay,
do
so
not fuck with
Zelensky.
Ashley. She will send
Vladimir
Putin on you.
Putin.
That's the headline. Ashley will send Putin after you if you fuck her over.
Yeah. We'll have them both on my couch. I'm sure they've been on it before. So
have them on the podcast, like for real. Get Vladimir Putin and Art up in here.
I know.
Let's discuss.
World leaders.
What does
bring
he
cameras.
mean? He hired coyotes. What is a coyote?
A coyote, like, you know, like in Mexico when you're like trying to be like smuggled out, you like hire these like I don't know, kind of like gangsters, like they're smugglers.
To get you into the
That's
country.
like
Yeah,
that's
he didn't hire the animal.
that's the official name. I'm just
he
I'm
talks to
picturing
the,
like this.
the coyotes. Ooh.
Yeah, he's like gather me like what are those dogs in the north? You know, like sled dogs.
Yeah,
coyotes.
the huskies. Yeah.
That's how he got smuggled.
That's cute. Come on, Balto. Like, girl, don't call him back, but send him the Venmo request.
Yes, I think you should.
Yeah.
Let's figure out his Venmo.
But also like 3 weeks. I don't think that'll probably last very long. So
No.
yeah, if you're cheating after 3 weeks.
yeah. But honestly though, like
And
that is so
also,
New York.
it's one of those guys too that like is straight but like trans, but then they like still try to make the straight work as much as possible. But in the end, like once you go like trans and you know get that dick, like you don't. It's hard to go back to not getting
denial
it.
is a real.
I don't know. You know,
Dick is great.
like every man has a G spot, and only some people are good at hitting that. You know,
for sure.
So.
For sure. For sure.
Period.
All right,
Yeah.
moving on to other things close to the G spot. We are going to talk about elections. Yes.
Yay.
How are we feeling? It's Friday, like 3 days after the election. What's the temperature right now?
My stance is what's done is done. What do I have control of? Right. So I feel more invigorated to continue pursuing my goals, which are learn Portuguese, stack my cash, and become internet famous.
Yes.
So-
So do you have like a Brazilian thing too? Because I have this Brazilian heat.
Yes.
Like I'm in heat for Brazilians, and I'm going there in February. Oh my God, for Carnival.
For Carnival.
Yeah,
oh,
I've
you're
never been there.
Where are you going?
It's in Rio, right?
You're going to Rio?
Yeah.
Well, it's all over the
okay,
country.
there's like 30 or 40 glam cocks going
Oh,
in a
that
house.
sounds like it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Oh my God, chaotic. Yeah. So I got to spend the winter in Rio last year or this year. It was this year, and I mean, it's a thrill. It's a great time, but also, you know, their political climate's getting crazy. But I just think that learning Portuguese would be helpful because then you can adapt it to other languages, and then I could possibly lock down a Brazilian husband. You know, not to fetishize the most beautiful people in the world, but those are the things that I have control over, and is just have to stay focused on that while, you know, projecting as much love and positivity as I possibly can. Our trans siblings, I think, will be affected by this. Women are already affected by this. Somebody said to me, I don't think they'll hurt the gays very much because there's so many rich gays. I'm like, yeah, there's also a lot of rich women. Like, it's
Right.
but if they start rolling back queer rights, I don't know, maybe I'll call up those walruses that I met in the North Pole and go hang with them. Like, the world's just mad right now. There's dictators everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere. Jesus. How do you feel, Matt?
How do I feel? I'm numb. I think this time around it felt a little different. I think even the temperature in New York was a little different. It wasn't as sad. I think everyone's a little bit like, okay, what next? I think there are two directions. I think we're either seeing a cultural regress, which could very much happen, and there's a response to what Trump really wanted. But I have hope that that's not what is actually going to happen. And I think similar to his first presidency, we're going to see a lot of people, we're going to see like a coalition of resilience. I think during his last presidency, we had the Women's March, we had Black Lives Matter. Like, I think people are going to really rally up against this. And I actually, at least for my business too, I felt like corporations and the private sector is actually more willing to rally around minority groups, particularly queer folks. And that's what I hope to see again. So I don't want to say I'm excited. I don't think it's like, I think it's very scary, but I am hopeful that, you know, this is going to be another, like, I heard someone say like a slingshot, like we're going to go back and then it's going to move forward a lot. And I think that's what happens in a renaissance. I think you're going to see artists create. And I think that's I'm excited. So I'm excited to see what happens from it.
And then also disclosure, are each of you like registered Democrats, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually I am a registered Democrat, but only recently because my parents are raging conservatives. And I was like in high school.
You voted Republican.
No, I couldn't vote. Actually, my first person I voted for was Hillary Clinton.
I voted Republican in high school because I was in denial. I was like, I'm straight.
Oh yeah, no, like 100%.
Yeah, I was 18 in like my senior year. So
no, I believe it. And like you grew up in Texas, right?
Yeah,
so
I thought voting Republican would make me straight.
Oh yeah,
I had like vote for.
What was it, McCain?
Oh, McCain.
Yeah,
I missed those elections.
I don't even know like any.
Those elections were fun.
Yeah,
because like if the person, you know, I remember growing up, like if the
it wasn't like a high stakes thing.
Yeah,
you were like losing rights.
Oh darn, my person didn't win.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's like democracy is over.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't think I even cared when like Obama won. Obama was really cool actually. We saw him speak, but
friend of the pod, Obama.
Friend of the pod, Obama.
Obama, if you'd like to come on the podcast, please.
Yes. I want Michelle. Let's get her.
Oh yeah, that would be kind.
Yeah, and so I guess my reaction, I was very surprised. Like when I looked at that map that we all saw and it was like mostly red, I was like, oh my God, like he has like the popular vote too. I was like, most of America does not want me to go to the bathroom. Yeah. That's what all trans people felt all across the US.
Yes.
Like where can I, like I'm gonna have to fly everywhere because I can't drive and stop at a rest stop. I'm not gonna have anywhere to go to the bathroom.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Bring the catheter, honey.
Yeah. Well, already. So my dad lives in Salt Lake City, and I fly there to go to Burning Man because we like get the RV and everything there. And they recently passed a law last year that you have to use the bathroom of the gender that's on your birth certificate in public facilities, which the airport is a public facility. And so, like in protest, like I could easily get away with like going in the women's room and. But like in respect to other trans people that don't have like the same, passability as I do, I like went into the men's room that I was legally required to use. And like the reactions were like, people were like so confused at first. And most of it, like, I thought I would like be getting back at like the men and stuff that like made the laws, but really like the people that were staring the most were the children. And it was notably awkward for all the children in the men's room. They're like, oh, why is this woman here? Because they don't, I think they're too young to understand like what a trans person, like obviously they're Mormonville. They have no idea what a trans person is there. Yeah. So the children were really confused. And I was like, oh, this is like kind of like affecting them more than like the adults and stuff. And so I don't know, it was like while I wanted to like make this big protest thing and like stand up for myself, I was like, oh, like it was bringing children into it. The ones that they say they're trying to protect, they're saying they're trying to protect families by making that law. But I don't know, maybe you should just think twice about what putting me in the men's room actually looks like when there's children around. So
it's just honestly, I think just remove all the bathrooms. Just make them all giant pits. Right?
Yeah.
Pits that we share.
Yeah. I think it's an opportunity for a diaper sponsorship. You should talk to Lisa Rinna and see if you could do like a co-sponsored diaper opportunity.
Wait, a diaper?
A diaper. Like
wait, does she wear diapers?
Yeah, she has like, that was her thing. Like she did like a sponsored diaper commercial. So I think you have a co-sponsorship opportunity.
But what did she have to wear a diaper for some sort of procedure?
It was like before Real Housewives. She was like her career was like not going well, and so she like started like
because she like sells stuff on TV.
Yeah, she QVC.
Oh my God,
she was like selling diapers. So I think
we need to bring that back.
I think that's a new opportunity for you.
It's honestly, and everybody shits themselves in past the age of 30. You know, that should be the new book. Yes. You know, everybody poops, and then another one, everybody poops themselves.
Yes.
But so also I wanted to tell everyone, so this podcast was supposed to go a very different way. I just like did not foresee Trump winning. I thought we were going to be talking about the integrity of the election. And so a little something I did, well, I guess I should say that I'm a poll worker. And so on Friday last week, I went to Palm Springs Pride and go danced on the pole at Hunter's Bar and Grill for Pride. And then on Tuesday, I came to New York and I worked the United States election polls from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And
what tipped better?
What
tipped better?
What tipped better? You know, we actually did discuss putting a tip jar at the poll worker desk. It didn't happen, but I thought it would be really funny. Yeah. I was like, oh, people should tip us, because they kept complimenting my nails when I was like maneuvering the iPad. Because they'd have to like turn around for them to sign something, and I would just have like all my jewelry and my nails be like, sign right here. But yeah, anyway, and when I'm around, there's no poll left behind in the United States. That's one thing I'm gonna say.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
But part of the reason I did it too is because I was curious, because there's like so much like election denialism. I was like, oh, like how secure like is the voting process? And we had to like go to training, we had to take a class, and we had to pass. It's kind of like a driving test. Like you cannot work the poll unless you pass the test. And yeah, there's just like so many processes, like everything has to be sealed and signed. And the big thing is that at every table, anyone that passes out a ballot has to be a table with a Democrat and a Republican, and you both have to be registered for your party. And that's to make it so it's like unbiased and nothing can be like tampered with. And then when you seal stuff, both of you have to sign the seal and that you guys each approved everything. And so it really is like very protected and like very safe. And so
I think that needs more marketing in itself, because I didn't even know that. And
I think
good to know, because
if you're denying, you should go sign up and learn it. Literally. Because once you figure out the process and you have to go through everything, like it's a lot. But yeah, another thing I should say is that that most of the votes I saw, the only votes I could see as an election worker are ones where people return the ballot because it wouldn't go through the Scantron, which means that they filled out the ballot incorrectly. So people would like, you have to fill in a Scantron, you fill in the bubble, but people would circle the bubble. They would put an X to the bubble. They'd circle the candidate's name and not do anything with the bubble. And so most of the votes I saw were for Trump. And so I don't know if more people in New York voted for Trump or just the people that voted for Trump didn't know how to fill out the ballot.
That was the problem.
Yeah, because we have to write void on it, and then we have to count all of them at the end of the day, like the ones that we, because they don't just get thrown out. Like they get thrown out later, but like we have to keep track of like every single ballot that's handed out. So.
Which is wild, because like in New Jersey, they send you how the ballot is going to look prior to the election. So
well, that's if you have like mail-in.
No, but it'll show you like what when you go to early vote, like it'll show you like what it's gonna look like,
they
what
send
to
you
expect.
Like
they send you instructions
pamphlet.
of how it's gonna look. Like,
yeah,
maybe I'll just like read it before you go to the ballot.
Not all of us like doing homework.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
yeah, there's a lot of people, but
I'm one of those people who's like Googling names in the
booth. Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
I forgot there was more than just two candidates.
Yeah. The props on the back of it threw me off. I was like, oh, what are all these? Yeah. They're like, oh, should the mayor have more time to do blah blah blah? And I was like, oh, I don't know how much time does he need. Like, what? I was like, why is this a question for me?
You know, it's like, oh God. When did you become a poll worker?
Just this election. I listened to like the New York Times podcast like every day, and like one of the commercials was that they were having trouble like getting people to register because of what happened last election with people getting like threatened and stuff. And those two Black election workers that ended up like suing, like I think for over $100 million.
What happened?
Rudy Giuliani like name dropped them and like dox them. They put like their home address. They're like, oh, these are the girls that like stole the election. They changed votes or whatever. And none of it was true. And he was like Trump's lawyer. And so right now, like I think he has 3 weeks to turn over his like Manhattan apartment to these two women. So that they can sell it, and because he couldn't afford to pay the $150 million fine, he's like bankrupt.
Wait, $150
I'm pretty
million.
I think that's not a fact, but I think that's the number.
I think you're.
It's
I think Caitlin.
so
Caitlin
high.
Fons actually asked him
Good
about it.
for
And so that's why I signed up to
girls.
become, because I want to
you're
go
like,
oh, you're
on my
saving
pod, be like,
America.
hi, I'm a transgender election worker. I make sure every vote is counted once per gender that you identify as. So, technically, I don't know if you wanted to do like a workaround. You could. We're open from 6 a.m. You can vote at 6 a.m. You can vote as Robert. You can go get vaginal surgery, sexual reassignment surgery for 8 hours, and then come back and vote at 7 p.m. as Julia Roberts. So I don't know.
God.
Maybe people should wait to transition for the next 4 years and just do it on election.
Exactly, all on the same day. And just like be piped up on morphine. My God. Could you imagine?
Yeah. Well, we have like an assistance booth for people that need assistance. They'd be like, oh.
It's a bunch of Trump supporters who like pick this up and they're like, we're doing it for the country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To get a bunch of Trump supporters to transition.
So they can give him his third
so
term.
they can double
That's
vote.
the new wave. That's the new wave. That would be.
What
that's how it
Twilight
works.
Zone would that be?
They would think that would happen though.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Well, thank you for your service. Trans women are saving
Yeah.
America.
Yes.
Thank you.
What do you think went wrong, or how do you think this happened? Like, were you guys surprised? Because like I said, I was totally surprised. I had my podcast ready to go a certain direction. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're talking about this instead. We're not talking about election denialism today.
I would say I'm surprised because the markets, like the way that the markets were going, I was like, okay, yeah, she's in this. She was ahead. I would say.
What do you mean markets? Like the stock
the
market
betting
or?
markets, the stock
okay.
market was good. Like all of the things that kind of decide those things were in her favor. I would say the donations were another big example.
Yeah, that was
in which
what she got like over $1 billion.
I think the stat was like
it was
and
crazy.
Don't quote me on the stat, but like it was like around 80% of the donations were like under $40, which means like a lot of people. There was a lot of momentum.
Yeah, I just didn't know my PayPal password.
Yeah.
Yeah. You became a poll worker.
You became a poll worker.
You
became a poll
You did your
worker. Like,
thing.
I know. I think I kept having it recurring every 10, like every week, and I was like, I can't afford this anymore. Anyway, but I will say, I wasn't surprised, and I went canvassing, so I didn't poll work.
Oh, wow.
But I was the canvasser. I went out to
Yes.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And
Wait, you went to Pennsylvania?
I went to Reading, Pennsylvania, which like he
okay, so
literally-
you like
yeah.
did it where it mattered.
Oh yeah, no, I was like
You didn't
literally,
like
I was in
go
it.
outside in Hell's Kitchen. Hey guys,
No,
vote for
no, no,
Kamala.
no, no,
Yeah.
girls.
You went with
No.
Marcus Kell too.
Yes, I
didn't
went
you?
with Marcus Kell, which was an experience in itself. Shout out to Marcus Kell,
Oh
the,
my
the,
God.
the OG door bitch of New York City.
The OG bitch. Period.
But we knocked on doors and like it was so like it was split. Like it was split. I saw it was wild, like a 2-family house, and the left side was all Kamala signs, the right side was all Trump signs. Like it was like battleground. And my parents are also raging Trump supporters. I love them dearly, but I think what I learned in this was that at the end of the day, authenticity won. You knew what you were getting with Trump. I think people didn't care what he said. They are, again, numb to it. And I think America voted for 3 things: the price of eggs, the fear of war, and like not wanting war, and just fear in general. And I think that's why I wasn't surprised, because I do feel like people are hurting, and we live in New York City. We're gracious to live in New York City. It's its bubble in its own right.
Yeah.
But when you leave, you see people are wanting something different. And even though they knew what they were kind of getting with Trump, that's what they want to change. So it's unfortunate, but that's...
He presents himself as a person who gives a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah.
I think that that the priorities of the Democratic Party, they've just been painted as identity politics, right? And I voted for Kamala. I love Kamala, but I didn't really know a thing about her or what she really stood for until the debate. And then in the debate, it was entertaining, but it also was like, it felt like she was pandering to people. She was like...
I felt that about her too.
Yeah.
Because like she's such a great speaker, a strong prosecutor. And in the debate, I thought she came off as very weak. And I was like, wait, I think she was just really nervous about it. But it wasn't what I was expecting from her. And I think she really needed to come off strong in that debate. Because a lot of people, I think, didn't vote for her because she's a woman. and they think that we're going like to war. Like I saw CNN, they were interviewing like students at a university after this happened, and like a female student was like, yeah, I don't think she's strong enough. I think Donald Trump would be strong enough, like in a time of war.
That's just because he knows how to yell. It's
Yeah.
really weird.
That's what society has taught us has been strength, which is like this like hyper masculinity of a man. But I will say, like, not to Monday morning quarterback anything. I think actually the debate she showed strength, but where I do fear what went wrong, and take this with what you will, but a lot of it was what she is not versus what she is. And I think a lot of that had to do with time. She didn't have a lot of time to like establish who she was. You didn't have the primaries to like really bruise and break her, or find the candidate that like went through all the, like you found all the like pits in their campaign. But a lot of her messaging was like, you know, when they asked about her, it was like, well, Donald Trump wants to do this, and Donald Trump is this, and Donald Trump is that. And it's like, not, well, what is Kamala?
Right.
And she had moments, but I think in the debate, she was good at like having the, you're wrong, this is why, this is what I'll do. But I think when it came to like town halls and personal interviews, again, that was where she really needed to be like, no, this is what Kamala wants, and this is who I am. And I don't think her message really was picked up. And that's where I think.
Well, I think it was picked up by us. I think like, you know, she was like part of Brat Summer and all that. But where she didn't hit was with the young men who, we just went and we were watching Joe Rogan's podcast because I've been hearing about that. Yeah. His Donald Trump did a 3-hour interview with Joe Rogan. Oh, wow. Like it's crazy. But
those men can talk.
So we went and watched it to check it out. But when the first thing I noticed was that it had 47 million views, which 47 million, that is like in television network like ratings, that's like the Super Bowl's 100 million and nothing else even comes close to that. So the fact that many young men are watching like podcasts like that, I think the Trump strategy team really hit home with that. And yeah, it was like a good interview. It was like it was so different because when you're on ABC or 60 Minutes, they're very aggressive interviewers. They're asking you very like hard questions in like a stern tone where you're like kind of makes you nervous. But Joe Rogan was just having kind of like a casual conversation. Right. And just like that, like Kamala maybe should have done Joe Rogan. I don't know if he would have her, but like, it's just, it was like a totally different tone. And so it feels more like a connection with him, even if he was saying stuff and he didn't do any fact checking or whatever. Like
she actually was asked to be, or she said she would be on Joe Rogan. I think the request from her team was that he wanted her to go to the studio, and she said she was on the campaign trail, so she was like, "Can you meet us on the campaign trail?" Which is
that's a big mistake though. 47 million like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, Call Her Daddy is the same thing. Like she went, like I know Call Her Daddy too. Like it's like it got canceled once, and then they met her on the campaign trail. So yeah, I think it was a scheduling thing. But I will say, and this is my critique of the Democratic Party, not just Kamala's campaign, but I think like you looked on her website, and this was another critique that was brought out. Was that on the website, it was like, we are here for the queer community, we're here for women, we're here for the Black community, the Asian community. And they said they left out young men, and like that's 24% of the population. Like,
they weren't part of Brat Summer, no.
No, and like, and I think it was Van Jones on CNN said, it's like, how can you expect a community in which you are outwardly rejecting to follow you? And that's what Trump totally capitalized on. And I think that's to your point, and both of your points, is like, that's what the Democratic Party has to really look at themselves and say, hey, we can be for all without having to reject a certain community.
Right.
Like, and that's, you know, I think the issue now.
The Democratic Party needs a chaotic candidate. Someone to just be like, hey, fuck you. Like, we need someone who's disgusting but charming, just like the Orange Man. Is there anybody that fits that bill?
I would love to see Mark Cuban go off.
Oh, Mark.
With Trump. I think that's a brilliant move.
Oh, my God. I think he could definitely win, Mark Cuban. Everyone loves him, especially in Dallas. Like,
yeah.
I think he owns the Mavericks and stuff. And Shark Tank, he would be good. I'm thinking Sarah Silverman when you said something like the Orange Man, who's kind of gross.
Oh, God. AOC, I used to.
Oh, she would not win, though. She could not win.
I used to fantasize about AOC. Like, back in.
I love her, but she.
Love her, too.
She could never win a swing state.
Yeah.
I ran into her at a dubstep show once.
Wait,
what was she
an
like?
Tell
show.
Tell us the story.
She was drunk.
Yeah,
and she was sway, and and she was and she put two fingers on my chest and she said, This is what I like, an off-duty drag queen. I was like, that's so nice to meet you. Thank you. And she's a cool chick. I think it's a fame game. I think that it seems like celebrity is the thing that gets you there. Could you imagine if Sarah Silverman ran? That would be. I would tune into every single episode of the news, out of every single network. Like, do you think that he's going to try and stay in office after his 4 years?
Okay, that's what my friend said. My friend's like, oh my God, he's never going to leave office. I'm like, that's not true. He's going to leave office every single day to go play golf.
No, he's
like Biden should just leave a bunch of sand traps around the White House to get him to actually work a full day, you know?
Like quicksand in the golf course.
But it's true. I think the fact is he played golf more than any other president has in history. And I foresee a lot more golf happening in these next terms. And also, I kind of feel like while we all think that could happen, I kind of think the same thing might happen to him that happened to Biden. As we know, he's older than Biden going into this now than Biden was when he took office. I think like halfway through, like things are going to get a little bit loopy.
Things are already loopy. You see the dementia.
Oh, yeah.
Honey.
He's slow.
Oh, my God. Like the visible signs of it when Biden was debating him were shocking and strange. I mean, I remember seeing that face on my great-grandmother when she was on her way out.
Because, like,
is that what she looked like? Did she have Cheeto dust on her
Yeah, the whole
face
thing.
too?
She had just the jaw on the ground. You know, it's just the
but we all know he wants to be a
dictator.
But like, I just don't think he may not have the capacity at that point. Like when he's like 82 to keep. But I think that they will try to maybe put JD Vance if it goes well. But I don't know.
That's what I think. I think he did say this was his last run, but what's scary is JD is the future. Like JD is the future of the party. And that was exactly why he chose him. He's the youthful face for what
That's why he chose him.
Could be.
I think he chose him because he was told to choose him. I don't think he even knew who JD Vance
the son helped too.
Wasn't he like an intern for a billionaire or something?
Yeah, for Peter Thiel.
He has.
That's what I'm really nervous about is all the like billionaire alliances, because I know that you mentioned like the price of eggs was something and like the price of housing and stuff, but I'm like, okay, well, how's this gonna work? Like, are the billionaires really gonna like help the price of eggs, or are they gonna like build big conglomerates and then the prices are just gonna go through? You know, they're gonna control everything,
right? So
I think he's like winning people over with stuff like inflation, blaming it on Biden. But at the end of the day, I don't think that Trump cares about the price of eggs.
I don't think he eats eggs.
No, he eats McDonald's.
Exactly. Are those eggs? They have an anti-foaming agent mixed in.
Yeah, well, maybe he has.
He cares about the price of.
I don't think those are real eggs.
No. I mean, if JD Vance takes over, at least there'll be a gay guy in office.
Why do you think he's gay?
An insurgence of couch.
I think. Well, there's his conversation with his grandma, his Mima, in his book that everybody was talking about. Where
because his trans friend too that he deny, and sometimes people that put other people down are really right.
And also like he must give really good head. Like have this billionaire just constantly funding him and giving him jobs.
A gay billionaire, Peter Thiel.
Wait, it's a gay billionaire.
Peter Thiel and his gay billionaire. He's like Peter Thiel. Yeah, he's a gay billionaire. Yeah, come on.
We see Peter at like horse meat disco all the time.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Wait, there's
you heard it here first. Peter Thiel's
I hate horse meat disco, but if there's billionaires there, I might try to go. Oh my God.
It's clicky. You'd never be able to find them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's they're all the rumors that he's gay. But at the end of the day, really everybody's gay.
Yeah, let's start some rumors on this podcast. That's for sure. Don't sue us, JD Vance. We love you.
Oh, yeah.
We're your allies.
I own a couch. One thing I did want to ask you though is something that I had earlier was, you mentioned celebrity, and I think a lot of the conversation is this the end of celebrity influence and celebrity culture in the capacity that she had Oprah, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, these endorsements. and they didn't work.
But those are all women
Those are
celebrities.
endorsements.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you
That's
say
that
because
she
of,
catered towards the females. Yeah.
Yeah, but like beyond that, like I think because it was also like.
But Trump
Ben
is
Affleck-
a
no,
celebrity.
What?
Trump is a celebrity, though.
Right.
Yeah, Trump is the symbol. Like Trump was a celebrity of the symbol of a businessman. I think that's why he truly won. Is people understood, or that, I mean, at least I can speak for my family and their perspective on it. Is that he is the ideal of what success in America is by being a successful entrepreneur. And like,
Yeah.
And so that's why I think they were like,
You're
well,
on
he's going to
TV as
guide
a
us with.
businessman.
Yeah, you're on
Yeah.
TV. You're like you're good with the economy. You're going to help us become
Yeah.
rich, and that's what young people really bought into. These like you see like Latino men, black men,
Right.
they fed into this idea that they too can be wealthy and that Trump will help him. But what I think the conversation is now, and I think particularly when the economy is not good, is that are celebrity endorsements helping or hurting these campaigns? Like I think a lot of people have felt like these endorsements from these wealthy billionaire celebrities talking during a like when inflation's super high and eggs cost $20 or $8 and I can barely feed my family. The conversation has really become, why are you bringing Oprah, who's a billionaire, to speak to me on that? And I think that's kind of
Well, I think
a
because
question.
people are big fans of those people, so they might be swayed by that. But
Right, they'll
I
tune in.
think the more important question is Donald Trump is a celebrity and how big of an impact? Because the thing is, he's been on TV, like primetime television for 14 years. People know who he is. They've seen him like fire people. Like
Right.
you're fired. The thing that people said about Kamala is like, we don't know who she is. Like we
Right.
just got introduced to her. Like
Right.
she hasn't like been inside the family home for years like that. And so now I'm like wondering, after you said like this Mark Cuban thing, like would Shark Tank, I know he doesn't want to run for president, but it's like, would we need someone from a show like Shark Tank where they're like, they're like, oh, we're like the best business people in America, like type
Right.
thing. Will celebrities like always win over politicians? And the same thing happened in California with Arnold. And also the date that I was talking about last night, he said that they all hate Zelensky, like the Ukrainian people. But I feel like over here, the press like glorifies him, like, oh, he's like this actor that's standing by his country. And whereas this Ukrainian guy last night, news to me, told me, hey, we all hate him. He's like this actor and he talked horribly like towards women and he just like fucked up our whole country. Like, I don't know. So
People love celebrity. Reagan won. Reagan was celebrity.
wait, he was? That was before.
Yeah,
me.
right.
Yeah,
was
he
an
was an
actor.
actor.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I actually looked at the numbers, the charts of like who got the most votes. I think like the Democrats only got like 20 electors the election he ran, and then like the Republicans had all the rest. Like,
Oh my
that's how big a
God.
difference. Like people loved him.
Yeah.
I didn't know him. It was before me.
Yeah. I don't even remember the Bush era. What was that?
Which one?
Yeah. All of them. I think celebrity will win over anything. People just like what's familiar. And then if you brand yourself as a business person or you brand yourself as a person of authority that has a sense of what they're doing, I think that'll win. Stephen Colbert. Let's get Stephen Colbert to be our president.
I don't know.
No?
No, I'm not,
I think everybody loves him except you guys.
except me.
Stephen Colbert. No, I like Stephen Colbert.
Wow, this week has been kind of a hard week for America. It's a great week for stand-up comedy. I mean, I'm not going to have writer's block for the next 4 years.
Yep.
And I can bring back all my old Trump jokes that have expired that I had in LA. Now I live in New York. I can repackage them as something I just thought of, and they're going to think I'm genius.
Work.
But yeah, so what do you think the funniest part of this election was? This election was so wrong. Remember, Biden was running at the beginning of it. Like, a lot has happened in the past, 3-4 months.
It was the eating of the cats and the dogs.
The
for
eating
me.
of the cats and the dogs.
Yeah.
That song is so good, though. I still need to learn the dance.
Eating the dog.
I don't know. I think we should storm the Capitol on January 6th and just do what is it called when you do a surprise dance? A flash mob. Storm the Capitol and just do that dance. Eating the cat. What is it? Eating the cat.
Eating the cats. Eating the dogs.
Their reaction might
There
be
we go.
different.
Thank you, TikTok.
Everyone gets shot.
Yeah.
Everyone gets shot.
I think for me, it was the fact that G Queens now have an excuse for when they're talking in a K-hole. The weave. You know?
What are
Wait,
you
what's the
talking
weave?
about?
The weave. So Donald Trump had, whenever he like swerved off conversation and just started to like go off topic and not make any sense, he called it the weave.
Oh,
okay.
So
He did that on the Joe Rogan.
yes,
we just saw that. Yeah.
that was his new branded word was the weave. And
yeah, he's calling it a technique.
yeah, he's calling it a technique.
Not a technique. It's just
He
he's on a
loses his
sidetrack.
train of thought.
Yeah, literally, anytime I see anyone in a K-hole just going off topic, I'm just gonna say, okay, you're weaving. You're doing what our
The
president
weave.
does. That's a technique.
Okay.
That was my favorite part of the.
It's, why are you a weaver?
I'm gonna plead the fifth. What was your funniest part of the election?
Melania's perspective on it.
I can't wait to have her back in as
what
the
she
office.
said. She said that there's a lot of critique and a lot of responsibilities on the first lady, and she doesn't get paid. So that's Melania's big thing, is that she has to work now and she's not getting paid. That's not what she signed up for when she became a trophy wife. She wanted
That's right.
to, live on top of the Gucci store, on top of the
Right.
tower,
Right.
take care of the kids, and now she has to do stuff
the
and
Christmas.
and she's
Yeah.
gonna get critiqued in every single thing she does and not get paid. So that's what she's pissed about, and I think that's the funniest part of this whole election. She's like, God damn it, not again.
Melania's face.
And you see when all the clips of her like shooing his hand away when she's walking down the airport,
Yes.
she's like, "Stop making me work. You pay me, bitch."
I'm
like,
so excited for the memes that are gonna come back from her.
I know, she does have really good passion, though. Like,
no,
I
I'm
do-
excited to have her back. I think if anything, that's
Yeah.
the best part of him coming back to presidency is Melania will be our first lady again, and
Such a faggot.
I am.
I am.
you're like, yes, you vicious bitch. And, like,
But
it's
R.I.P.
like,
Maya
can't-
Rudolph's career.
right?
She just lost her
No,
4-year
that's so
SNL
true.
thing. You know,
And the new guy is
That's
I
so
loved
true.
seeing
Wait,
her.
so who's gonna play Trump on SNL?
Well,
It's
it was
that
Alec
guy.
Baldwin before
Yeah,
for
but
a
it's not
while,
Alec Baldwin
I don't
anymore.
know.
Yeah, he has like the clip.
Alec
neck.
Baldwin was the best, but now it's someone else.
Yeah.
I think. But,
Right.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin was going through his
His-
PR issue.
right.
So.
Yeah,
You can't
and like
kill
Trump, he
people.
also had someone killed.
There it is.
Okay,
We said it.
the tea. We spilled it. All right. Were there any more questions? Did you have another one you wanted to ask?
No,
or,
I think. Do you want to talk about what we think the next 4 years will look like?
yeah, I
way
think
to
that's our
end.
last question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do y'all think the next 4 years will look like? Do you think like the economy is going to get better? Do you think like all hell? Do you think COVID Part 2 is going to happen? Because they said make America great again. I was like, wait a minute. Last time it wasn't so great.
Right.
I was like living in Palm Springs with all my friends suddenly and had no job.
Yep.
It does happen.
RFK Jr.,
It
no
does
vaccine.
happen. I mean, at least I know what to do for a lockdown now.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't.
which is right. Yeah. Skip the depressive state, just stock up on the fun drugs.
Renegade
and,
Burning
like,
Man.
Yeah. Renegade Burning Man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Travel across the country for $30 plane tickets.
I missed that though.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
go to
was-
Brazil. Yeah, go to Brazil. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to Brazil.
We're all going to Rio.
Yes.
Yes, that's what the next 4 years are going to look like, honey. Brazil. He seemed surprised still that he won when he was giving his speech. He's
I
like,
think he
"Can you
was the
believe
first
it?"
time he won too.
The
Yeah.
first
Oh, yeah,
time
first time
for
he was very
sure.
surprised.
Yeah,
he was very
First
successful
time
the
for
first time.
sure. But this, because the whole thing, the first one was just like a big publicity
But
stunt
with
for
the
like a
popular
television
vote and
network.
everything this time,
Right.
that I think that
Yeah.
was shocking for sure
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me. I
Right.
didn't think
he was ready to do conspiracy theories and all that.
I
And he's
think-
like, "Can you
Well,
believe?"
he was prepping for that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they totally were. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the next 4 years going to look like? I don't know. Maybe the dementia will sink in and everything will just, chill out, and it will slowly become this oligarchy thing. You can't tell the future. A meteor could come.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to
At
do
this
what
point,
Buddha said and
anything
live in
is
the
game.
present.
Yeah.
Anything
That's true.
is game.
I think after the pandemic, anything is.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like the past 4 years has been like, or the past 10 years has been like a Hollywood movie. You
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
like even write in a pandemic, and
Yeah.
I don't know, just crazy.
Well, I have some good news for lesbians for the next 4 years. So I was looking at, before I came here today, I was looking at an article that said the 4B movement is on the rise, which I think started in Korea. Again, don't check me on this. I literally looked at it before this podcast. But they said women are swearing off straight men. Women are fully like stopping dating. They're not having
I
sex
think they've
with
already
straight
done
men.
that.
Yeah, but it's like it's out. It's a movement. It's brought
Everyone's
to
in their
America.
30s and unmarried
Yes,
still.
and
I'll do it.
Lesbians are going to have their moment. That's what I think is going to happen in the next 4 years. women are only going to be
Everyone's
having
gonna-
sex with women, and guys are going to be depressed and jerk off alone. Straight men.
Yeah.
Gays are going to be fine. So that is what I think is going to happen.
So everyone's just going to become gay over the next 4 years.
Oh, we're going to have to like
Yeah.
suck more DL dick.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, the air mattresses and tops in like the suburbs.
God. You go
But-
all the way out to the suburbs. Honey, just go to Queens.
Murray Hill. Yeah, I am not I haven't really turned like I haven't had sex with a lot of straight DL
have.
guy. I wish
I've
yeah,
taken so many straight men.
Have you turned a lot of
No,
straight men?
I've taken their virginities, like their butthole
hi.
virgin.
Okay, yeah.
Probably like 20 at least.
It's wanky. 20 this week.
Yeah,
Most likely. But yeah, I
like
think
the Samantha Jones. Like, so I was like, how many people this week today?
I'm counting.
Yeah.
Counting bareback.
I'm actually really
Campbell?
worried about the next 4 years because, you know, I read Liz Cheney's book. And so she pointed out a bunch of things that like the major news media didn't really cover about things that specific things that happened on January 6th about how he really did try to take over the democracy and change everything. So I'm like worried about that. And then I'm worried about like I think he held back the first time because he was getting used to stuff and didn't know how everything was. They're like, who do you want to appoint? And he's like, I don't know who to appoint or
Right.
whatever. So he's like learning. And he also had people to hold him back, but this time his cabinet is much smaller, and he's not going to have to worry about re-election, and there's
he
not
has
going to
the
be
Congress.
as much stopping him from his agenda. And you know, our trans people and like mass deportations, like right at the top of his agenda. Like I'm not sure. I think the deportation thing might be, but like, is he going to try to go after like LGBT people? Like we all know that he was pro LGBT before he became president,
Right.
But,
Yeah.
or is he going to focus on other things? I don't know. I'm kind of like, in a weird way, I'm kind of worried about like them really like trying to like ban like trans people or like putting us into concentration camps or something. Cause like Elon Musk might be part of his like, I don't know. Elon Musk hates trans people.
He does?
Which is wild because he
yeah.
has a
Oh
trans
yeah,
child.
yeah.
Yeah.
It like
That's insane.
if you
really
if you
sad.
ever go on X like and see his posts, a lot of like really anti-trans and transphobic stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like feel like things could go into this like really weird direction that's kind of scary, and where we might actually have to have a like backup plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
When you say backup plan, do you mean like
like literally leave,
Like, leave?
like hire a coyote to like.
I
Smuggle it.
No,
take you to
I'm not even
Canada?
kidding. Yeah.
That's I think that what's like going
If
to
they
happen.
like criminalize the bathroom thing like nationwide or something, you know.
That's it. I think that with Trump winning, I think around the world, it's sort of a signal to all of these power hungry dictator types that they should move forward with their agendas with more vigor. I think Putin's going to feel like he has more free reign to just.
Yeah, because he's so excited by the news or whatever.
Yeah.
He wanted this to happen, and why is that? Are they like secretly buddies, or he just thinks that?
They definitely
I think
blow
he
each
thinks
other.
he can manipulate him, and he's been
Yeah.
stroking his ego. In
Yeah,
order
by
to-
stroking it, yeah.
That's what I think that all was. But listen, I think it's scary to say. I think the reality is you're going to see his legislation is going to get passed very easily. He has basically all three branches of the U.S.
did-
government.
did
that are
they win the
Republican.
the House at this
I
point?
think they're going to win the House.
Okay.
You're going to see him try to take out nonpartisan officials. I think you're going to see deportations. I think you're going to see a lot of victims of SA not have the access to the care that they need. I think we're in it. But in the same vein, like to what I said earlier, I do find hope that if America is truly a democracy and if America works as it was intended to, you are going to see the best and brightest of our country rise up, coalesce, and really fight against him and his authoritarianism. I think you are going to see people really come together, and I'm
Yeah.
excited by that.
But
and
also,
that's where we have to
yeah.
keep.
I feel like this is like such a normal pattern we're like all shocked, but like really like the U.S. keeps going back and forth like the last
Pendulum
yeah.
swings,
like,
baby.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
it's like Republican
history.
then Democrat. It's just kind
Right.
of like we're in a pattern. at the end of the day.
And it just gets more and more intense. And if he's going to be intense and his administration is going to be intense, then the progressives are going to get more intense. It's just the
pendulum.
The nature of it. It's the energy of it. What are your plans for the next 4 years?
You know, I can walk to Trump Tower from my house, and I heard on the news yesterday that Melania is trying to shield like Barron Trump. He's going to NYU. Yeah. He's 6'7", so I kind of want to see what he's packing. Yeah. I'm gonna go sign up for NYU. What is it? The nude drawing where I'm gonna be like a nude model for their like art class and be like, hey Barron,
hey Barron,
like, oh,
hey,
I'm on a fur. Does this remind you of anything?
Oh my gosh!
This is like your birth picture. This is how you were born.
6'7"?
Yeah, 6'7".
What are they feeding that kid?
I don't know, but I think he's a little autistic, so I can definitely win him over.
Oh my god,
she has a type.
Yes. So I don't know. I could end the next 4 years like as the next dictator.
If you marry in to
if
this
I marry
family,
yes.
Oh my god,
the scandal of it.
I would.
So high.
I mean, you already look like you could be related.
Yeah, honestly, you could pass off.
First goal, I want to change the name of Trump Tower to Trans Tower.
Hot.
And then just put a bunch of like in the big fountain they have in the front, just change it to a giant urinal that everyone can use.
Yeah, troughs for everybody.
And by the way, okay, in Germany, I was just there. They have female urinals.
What?
They have a bathroom.
Funnels?
Yeah.
They have female urinals in Germany in the women's room.
What is that?
It's like almost like this like shower thing with like a grated floor, and you like squat over like a hole like in the middle that's like grated. Like
I'm surprised we haven't figured that out yet.
I'm like how I thought
women's lines in the bathroom.
I thought it was like in
way
a
too
dream
long.
or something. It was at Berghain, so I was like, what is this? And how everyone was just using it like it was normal. I was like, what? So I got to use a female urinal for the first time.
How wonderful. A groundbreaking experience. Well, it's a ground moistening experience.
Yes, definitely. What are y'all's plans?
It's that, like I said, Portuguese internet fame, stack the cash, right? And spread joy.
Spread joy.
In my legs.
We're all spreading joy. No, similar to you, I think for me, I guess this is like an announcement. It's an announcement so I can hold myself to it.
She's a Republican.
I know. No. I was just laid off. So
congratulations.
Thank you.
Biden.
Thank you.
Biden.
Yeah. So in this time,
Biden's America.
Biden's America. Thank you.
What were you, an egg farmer?
No. Oh my gosh. No. Yes. Well, yeah. So the announcement is I am officially laid off. And hopefully this is like, because this is airing, this will hold me to it. I want to also start a podcast.
Oh, great.
Called Thanks for Swiping Left. It'll be talking about how failure has led to success. And then I'm going to start my own LGBTQ marketing consultancy, name TBD. But we're going to fight this thing. And we want to see more queer folks in advertising. And I'm going to help make that happen. Yeah. So
damn right. If anybody can do it, you can.
Thank you.
Well, you should try to market for the big oil companies because, that's going to come back. But do an oil that can also be used as lube. So, like, get people to like oil again based off lube. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought of a genius marketing thing. So, like BP lube and like petrol. I don't. All right. Well, I think that's like all the questions we had. We kept it really light. I'm glad about that. But where can we find each of y'all?
You can find me on all socials at Madame Vivien Vivien, and you can tune into my podcast premiering this holiday season, The V Spot.
Yes.
Yeah, just Vivia Best Life. Come down to Joyface on Wednesdays and see me twirl.
Yes. Yeah. And you could find me at Matt Conrado on Instagram, Conrado, and Matthew Conrado on TikTok. All the other stuff I don't have yet. So that's what we're working on.
Cool. I love.
And you can find me at Ashley Ryan TV on all platforms. We also have the Funny Please podcast on Instagram you can follow. Please like and follow our podcast. It helps us with our numbers and shows it to more people. Also, I have a comedy show on the 16th of November at Yotel. And then again, I'm doing a 30-minute set, a headlining set at Soho Playhouse the day before Thanksgiving, so the Wednesday night.
Oh, that's such a great night.
I know. Well, they didn't have anyone booked. I'm like, oh my God, my mom and all my friends' parents are going to be in town. So
perfect.
If your mom, your grandma, whoever's in town, bring them to my comedy show. I'm going to be talking about all new comedy. I'm going to have some election worker comedy in there too, as well as some old stuff. And I'm going to have to go look up all my old Trump jokes and bring those back as well. So I'm excited. Yay.
So much
but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys again for being on it. And
Thank you for
oh my
having
God,
us.
I love this. I feel like, well, you said tonight you're doing like a Celine Dion thing.
Yeah, it's a
You should do
shift.
like the RuPaul. I am American.
Red, white, and blue.
We'll
RuPaul.
use that song, but we can't afford the rights, so we'll just sing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just leave that out. I am
I am a.
Oh my God.
I'm good at that.
You learned that from our president?
Yes,
All right.
I did. No, from our
Thank
vice
you,
president.
guys.
From our vice president.